It's about 6:30 in the evening, Wednesday the 14th of January 2010. I left the Galapagos Saturday morning about 10 o'clock in the morning. It took 4 days, or until yesterday morning, to finally reach the southeast trade winds. They came in light in the morning, about 8 or 10 knots, and through the day they slowly built until about this time last night they were blowing 15 or so. Since then I've gotten a little further west and a little further south, and the trades are blowing probably more than 15 but less than 20 would be my guess, somewhere in that range. Right now I'm about 6 degrees south latitude and 97.5 degrees west longitude. It's a beautiful day. The sky is cleared off. As you can see from behind, over this way towards the north, it's a little heavier. From the weather report, there's a low pressure up north of the equator that way, 1,000 miles or so. It's getting near sundown. I'm headed a little bit south of due west. The motion's pretty calm. I've been playing around with sails and such. Making about 6 1/4 knots average. Had my first 150-mile day Monday to Tuesday. Or was that? No, that was yesterday until today. And I'll probably do that again from today until tomorrow. It's Friday the 16th of July, about 12:30 in the afternoon local time. I'm at about 6.5 degrees south and 101.5 degrees west. What you may be able to see over there on the horizon is a rare sight indeed. Looks like a fishing boat or some kind of small cargo boat. I suspect it's a fishing boat. I saw one in almost the same place when I was out here crossing from the Galapagos to the Marquises before. He looks to be heading due north and I'm going about due west. It's Saturday, the 17th of July, 2010, about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm about 7 degrees south and about 104 degrees west longitude. A little squall line coming up from astern. It's got the wind up a little bit, not too bad. It's blowing about 15 to 18 right now. Pretty good sea running up from the southeast, up in the 10-foot range. We're kind of rolling along here. I'm sailing a course of about 275, which is about 10 degrees higher than the actual course to the Marquises. The reason I'm doing that is to get a little bit better angle on the wind, because I'm flying 2 head sails, which I'll show you here in a second. It's a little rolly because I don't really have much fore and aft sail up. Just a small storm jib is set. It's a kind of a steadying sail. And to windward on the pole is the light Genoa. And to leeward, sheeted off the end of the main boom, is my big freebie kind of drifter Genoa. It's a lightweight sail, but it is Dacron. It's a little noisy up here in the bow from the bow wave. We're cooking along at about 6.5 knots or so, maybe a little bit better. It's Monday, the 19th of July, 2010, about 9 o'clock in the morning. What you're looking at there is my light Genoa. I took it down yesterday afternoon because it developed a couple of small 3-corner tears that I have to repair, or I'm in the process of repairing. The weather has been kind of squally, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. I've been getting wave after wave of these clouds, and the wind has been up in the 20 to 25 knot range. Right now it's pretty consistently about 25 knots. It's Thursday, the 22nd of July, 2010, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm about 6.5 degrees south and 116.5 degrees west longitude. It's a beautiful day. Trades are blowing pretty strong, good 20 knots from just about due east. Seas are running pretty big, 8, 10, occasionally as much as about 12 feet. Last night, or late yesterday afternoon, I was enjoying myself sitting in the cockpit about 5 p.m. local time. Just finished my evening meal, and all of a sudden I heard a big clang from the back of the boat. I quickly looked aft and saw the head of the auxiliary rudder was tilted off at an extraordinary angle that it shouldn't be. And scrabbled around down below, grabbed a whole bunch of hose clamps and some scrap material that I had, and effected this temporary fix. Fortunately, I had another piece of that angle, and I put that on the starboard side, and sandwiched between it and the broken piece is a piece of that, I think it's 7/8 round stainless steel tubing, like you see on the port side. That wasn't, of course, enough to keep the whole thing stabilized, but fortunately I had these 2 extra turnbuckles, and in the Galapagos I just bought 2 extra 1/2-inch galvanized shackles and 2 extra 3/8 galvanized shackles for anchoring. And that all turned out to be just the right size to fit the stanchion bases. And I took some scrap, I think that's 1/8-inch 7x19 stainless wire, wrapped it up around everything, put a couple of bulldog clamps on it, tightened turnbuckles. That seems to have stabilized everything. I believe it's actually stronger than the original installation. It's Friday, the 23rd of June, 2010, on the way from the Galapagos to the Marquises. I'm about 6.5 degrees south and 119 degrees west. For a couple days now, the trade winds have been pretty strong, about 25 knots. So I've been honking right along here, making a bit over 7 knots right now. It's Thursday, the 29th of July, 2010. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon local time. I'm at about 8 degrees south latitude and 134 degrees west longitude. Just after sunrise this morning, I went over on the port tack again to make this final 2-day run into Hebo in the Marquises. If conditions hold, I should be there sometime Saturday afternoon. It's Friday, the 30th of July, 2010, a couple minutes after noon. I'm about 200 miles from Hebo and sailing along here quite nicely in the trades. They're about east-southeast, about 115, 120 degrees. And blowing a good steady 20 knots, maybe a little bit more. This morning I changed over from the single reef main and the 2 small head sails on a broad reach because I was going a little too much south and not enough west. So I put another reef in the mainsail and dropped the 2 small head sails and put up the large lightweight Genoa. Allowed me to run off a little further away from the wind. The other setup would have the mainsail blanketing the head sails too often. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon local time. Saturday, the 31st of July, 2010. And after wandering around in the South Pacific here for the last 3 weeks, I finally found some dirt. When I took my noon position, I looked off to the east, hopefully thought I would see Hiva out there in the distance. And I don't know if my eye was just playing games with myself or not, but it looked like there was a little smudge out on the horizon. But with the fair weather haze, it was kind of hard to tell for sure. I had predicted more or less the day before that I'd probably sight the island at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So after my noon sight, I went back down below and fiddled around for a while till about 1 o'clock came out. Sure enough, there was Hiva dead ahead, and Montaigne about 2 points off the port bow. Anyway, enough about me. Take a look up there forward, and there you can see that dark spot on the horizon is the east end of Hiva. It's kind of like shaped like a chicken leg, I guess you'd say, and what you're looking at is the ankle end. The harbor is on the back side of the knee, the south side. So I'm coming in from the east, going pretty much due west. I'll come along the leg right into the crotch there at the knee, which is where the harbor is, and the thigh part is what's off there in the hazy distance.